We classify igneous rocks by composition and texture. The composition is, we talk about as being either felsic or mafic. Felsic rocks are light in color. They have feldspar and silica, that's where the word felsic comes from. And they give them this light color. These are both felsic rocks over here. We have the granite and the rhyolite. And then mafic rocks are dark in color. The chemistry is iron and magnesium. Magnesium is the May, and the Fe on the periodic table is for iron. So mafic is for iron and magnesium. So that's what gives it the darker color. They're silica poor, or these are silica rich over here on the felsic side. In between the two, we have the intermediate, and that would be a mixture between the two. They're kind of a lightish gray color. So we classify igneous rocks by chemistry, whether they're, or composition, whether they're felsic or mafic. And then we also by texture, the grain size, whether they're extrusive or intrusive. This is misspelled up here, by the way. That's all right. Extrusive rocks have very small grains you can't see with the naked eye, like basalt and rhyolite are both at the top. Okay, that's because they cool really quickly. Intrusive rocks have large grain sizes that you can see with the naked eye. Basically, as they cool underground, they cool really slow underground, and it gives time for these grains to grow in the magma. Whereas if they erupt to the surface, they cool really quickly and you can't see the grains. So in classifying them, we have our little mnemonic over here. We have our teddy bear who fell sick, and this is light in color. And then we have our mafia hat over here for the mafic. This is the mafic end, dark in color. Iron and magnesium. This has the feldspar and the silica. And so the extrusive rocks are at the top, and the intrusive rocks are represented here on the bottom. And so down here on A for the felsic extrusive, we have some rye bread, which represents rhyolite. It's felsic, it's light in color, and it's extrusive. You can't see the grains. The intrusive one is granite down here, so B would be granite. It's felsic, and it's intrusive. It's on the bottom of these little stands here, so that's going to be my granite. The intermediate ones for C and D, the extrusive one, remember we have Woody up here, but we're not interested in Woody. We're interested in what's on the bottom of his foot. He has the Andy written there. Andesite is going to be what goes there for C. And then diorite, if you look over here for one of these words that sounds like diorite, we have diorite. So that's going to be our intermediate intrusive rock is going to be diorite. And then for the mafic ones, the extrusive rock, we have my bass fish, which represents basalt. It's mafic, it's down on the mafic end, and it's extrusive. And then the intrusive one, we have our gold medal here, which represents Gabby Douglas, and we have gabbro. So it's mafic and intrusive. And then we got one more, which is G down here. You can barely see on this picture, that's a submarine. There's one more called peridotite. That submarine had a periscope on it. And so these are rocks that are found deep, deep down in the mantle. They're called ultramafic rocks. And there is no extrusive version of those because they're only found deep in the mantle.